I didn't like the way the record companies were treating us, and then when I got with Jay as a manager, they were telling me that he wasn't as good as he was.
So, you know what I'm saying? We came in this thing, we built this from nothing.
In the shadows of the city, where dreams are born in concrete and chaos, a revolution was brewing. Not just a sound, but a movement. One built by rebels, hustlers, and geniuses who refused to be silent. They weren't just rappers, they were architects of an empire. From the underground corners to the global stage, they forged a culture that would change the world forever. This is their story, a saga of grit, vision, and rebellion, where every lyric, every hustle, every empire was born from the streets. Welcome to the world of the true founders. Welcome to the kings who built hip-hop. When the major label said no, they built their own table. This wasn't a fairy tale. This was Brooklyn grit meet Harlem hustle. Jay-Z wasn't industry made, he was industry proof. No major label wanted to sign him. Too street, too lyrical, too Brooklyn. But Damon Dash had the mind of a CEO, the heart of a block general. With Biggs Burke, the quiet force behind the scene, the man who bankrolled the movement, a Harlem-born hustler with the sharp instincts and unwavering loyalty. Back in projects, funded tours, helping build a brand. Brick by brick, together they formed Roc-A-Fella Records in 1995. Straight out the trunk with no budget, no backing. All belief. Let's talk about it. Before the suits, before the Bentleys, that was Jaz-O, the originator. A Brooklyn legend with his foot in the industry and a handout for his protege. Jay-Z wasn't just watching, he was absorbing cadence, breath control, and bar structure. You could hear the Hawaiian sofa. A young Jay-Z with his oversized gold chains and fast flow. Touring with Jazz, ghostwriting in the shadows, soaking up the game like a sponge dipped in street oil. But in the early 90s, the music industry had walls higher than a prison gate. Record execs said Jay-Z was too articulate, too refined, too polished, as if intellect was a flaw, as if clarity was a curse. Not street enough, they said. This was about a man who was raised in the belly of the block, where hope had to be cut, cooked, and sold to survive week to week. But Jay knew bars alone couldn't cut it. He needed more than metaphor. He needed infrastructure, not just a label deal, but he had to go independent. With his first full release, Reasonable Doubt, now considered a classic. Along came Damon Dash, Harlem-born, bold, brash, and a business-minded like a Wall Street wolf at 10. Dame wasn't just chasing money, he was building leverage. When he crossed paths with Jay, who was introduced through Clark Kent, he didn't just hear a rapper, he saw an enterprise. Dame used his guerrilla marketing, club presence, and relentless promo to force the industry to look. By the early 2000s, Roc-A-Fella wasn't just a label, it was a lifestyle, fashion, film, and world tours. Roc-A-Fella sold clothes, paid in full told stores. Roc-A-Fella shaped an era, from Kanye West to Cameron to Beans to Freeway. The label was paving the way for greatness. But even empires cracked. As Jay's ambition grew corporate, Dame Defiance stayed street. Jay made a pivot, Dame stayed rebellious, Roc-A-Fella split, and hip-hop felt the aftershock. But the blueprint was already written in ink. They didn't wait for a seat at the table. They built their own. Brick by brick, verse by verse, deal by deal. Roc-A-Fella wasn't just a label, it was a blueprint for hustlers, dreamers, and visionaries who knew the game would never love them unless they owned it. I once heard Damon Dash say, "We're not just selling music, we're selling a lifestyle."